Absolutely. So when you're talking about high expectations, though, and the crowd, we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs here. Look at the three-peat here, Joe, and
the biggest
happen again.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest, level of playmaking that you have to have. Like, the Chiefs have been so solid offensively, especially like Andy Reid. Let's be honest, one of the best head coaches to ever coach the game. Like, he has to be, not only just as a head coach, but also an offensive mind. For him to have the creativity that he has and to be able to have fun with his players, creating these plays on the fly or what have you before they play against some of even their normal opponents in the AFC West, it confuses everybody. Nobody knows what's going to happen from whether it be a goal line play or maybe they're at the 50-yard line to get a first down. They come up with some very interesting plays, to say the least. And when you have guys like Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, who listen, the Chiefs, when they traded up to get Mahomes, they must have been so set on that decision. Like, the whole entire organization was like, we're down for that. Let's go get our guy. They get him. Not many people overlooked Mahomes because a lot of people thought Patrick Mahomes coming out of college from Texas Tech was just a power thrower, was just had a cannon for an arm and not much after that. But let me tell you, the Chiefs saw something else in him, and look at what he's doing now at a very young age, still in the middle of his prime. And he's already won 2 Super Bowls. How many players can even say that, let alone quarterbacks? So Mahomes, no question marks there. You look at the rest of the team offensively. I mean, what are you going to question? Like, the only thing that I have a concern with is the tackles for the Chiefs. Look at last year. Juwan Taylor, one of the most heavily penalized tackles, if not the highest penalized tackle in the NFL.
It should have had more.
That's not a good stat to have. Yeah. And he got away with a lot. And then on the other side, Wyna Morris, who's penciled in as a starter, they're hoping that their draft pick in the second round, Kingsley Sumatea, is going to be able to take that over. Because I'm going to be honest, they still haven't found the tackles to help protect Mahomes without getting penalties. Even Wyna Morris is getting holding penalties more often than you would like to see. So still, tackles is a problem. Inside, obviously one of the best interior offensive lines in the game. When you go to wide receivers, though, this is where you can maybe poke holes at it a little bit. Just like last year where, thank God for Rashee Rice jumping onto the scene last year and playing a huge part of that offense, being able to drive down the football field, becoming a favorite of Pat. But Travis Kelce as well. Obviously, everybody knows him. But the new kid that they just drafted, Xavier Worthy, blazing fast, the fastest guy coming out of the draft, like not even close. The guy is so fast that he's probably faster than almost everybody in the league at this point in the straight line speed. They team him up with guys like Hollywood Brown coming over from Arizona. Rashee Rice is still there at the moment, but how long is he? Is the NFL going to suspend Rashee Rice from all the troubles that he's had in the offseason? That's something that is a little concerning for Kansas City. You know, is he going to get like an 8-game suspension they're worried about? Maybe 10-game. Maybe it's less. Maybe it's more. So that's still up in the air with Rashee Rice. But whenever he does return, it helps the team. But Hollywood Brown, to be honest with you, Jim, like I don't think he's anything special. Like going in Baltimore, when he was with Baltimore, obviously they didn't throw the ball that much when he was there. He showed flashes here and there, but then he also dropped some footballs being wide open. Same thing happened in Arizona. Same thing happened with Kyler Murray when he was trying to get him the football. Sometimes he dropped a touchdown, easily beat his corner, and somehow dropped it. Xavier Worthy kind of fits that kind of mold where he's blazing fast, very little. You know, if you can get a hand on him, you can pop him and throw him right off his route. Even though he's fast, he doesn't have the greatest hands either. Right. So this is kind of like this is kind of like a motto for the Chiefs. It seems like with the receiving core. Last year they had guys like MVS in there and guys that were dropping the football. It looks like even though they've changed that receiving core a little bit, looks like they still got maybe possibly the same problems going forward.
Yeah. And, you know, they're always trying to get some of that speed and things. And what's funny is I think I saw something too Maybe it was even Cowherd or some dipshit, but they made some sense, at least at this point, when they're saying that, Andy Reid, he's been in the game for a long time, but when the NFL really geared towards scoring and things like that, blah, blah, he just hit his stride and it fit Andy Reid to a T. That's why I think it's natural that we see the changing of the guard from Bill Belichick right to an Andy Reid. It just made sense because Bill Belichick defense first, but a smart offense, play, to your opponent and do what it takes to get it done and rely on your defense too as well. Andy Reid, the defense have been pretty good with Spagnuolo there, but nothing to really write home about a lot of times. But the offense getting crazy and Andy Reid, like you said, the guru. So it's kind of funny how the times fit to them. And it was just natural, a change of guard there too. And Xavier Worthy, I feel you on the same thing. And the one replay you do see, I think in camp, it's camp,
that
like
one play,
and like even that was more of a Mahomes play than him Worthy doing anything spectacular as far as I saw.
He did his job. He caught the ball.
It was there. Yes, absolutely. So, but as far as offense, nothing to really talk about here. They're going to still keep doing what they're doing. Nothing to break down.
Yeah, there's one thing that I do want to mention that I saw today is that Kadarius Toney, formerly of the Giants, has been with the Chiefs off and on the field,
begging for
injuries and everything. No, the interesting thing is that they're actually utilizing him in the backfield now, like as a running back.
Well, that way he can't stand off sides, Joe.
Not just that, but also the fact that they're going to get the ball in his hands, and he is very difficult when he's in open field. So maybe that's the thinking, is that they're going to mix him with Isaiah Pacheco, who's a very tough runner, and try to throw some defenses off that way. But he's getting another opportunity in a different capacity, it sounds like.
Hey, that makes more sense to me. Absolutely. Why not? It's got to be his last shot, right?
Not to mention, if you're looking for another, if you're hoping to get a Super Bowl ring, and you're Carson Wentz, who's now the backup of Mahomes, excellent decision to sign with the Chiefs.
Yep.
Defensively, it's a good defense. Everybody knows that. Yeah. That's not a secret. What is a little bit different is the personnel that they're going to do it with.
Yes.
Mike Dana is going to be playing DN now, going to get that starting job. George Karlaftis, who honestly, when he was coming out of the draft in 22, Jim, I loved this dude. I thought this guy was going to be such an impactful D end, and now is going to get a full-time. They're getting a full-time at the D end spot where I think he's gonna take the league by storm this year. Like, he's a very difficult guy to block and does everything well. Plays the run well, pass rushes well, does not allow you to get outside of him. So that's going to be a good thing for the Chiefs defense. Chris Jones signs that mega extension, which I honestly could not understand how they could afford it. But somehow they figured that out.
Like you said, the magic that these money guys do, you know what I mean? The way they fit it in there.
But they figured it out, locking him in for this year and future years. Another guy, Drew Tranquil, who came on last year as a free agent acquisition from the Chargers, played an enormous role in the linebacking core and played it well. They ended up extending him. Nick Bolton coming back for another year. The interesting thing about Nick Bolton is now they're shelling out all this money. Nick Bolton's contract is coming up soon. Like, are they going to be able to afford to keep him too? And then you see a different changing of the guard at the strong side linebacker spot with Leo Chanel, who has been waiting in the wings as a backup. Now looks like he's penciled in as the starter, hoping to get a little bit more out of him and their investment in him. Trent McDuffie, when we go to the secondary, great player. I'm curious to see how he does on the outside, because this guy's been typically the nickel corner for them and has been the shutdown guy at nickel. Now he's going kicked back out to the outside. I know last time he was out there was like his rookie year, struggled a little bit. Maybe he's got, a little bit more experience now and he can handle that outside, but some corners it throws him for a loop. So I'm interested to see how he maintains that outside. Justin Reed coming back again for another year. Nazeeh Johnson is now looking like the starting corner for the Chiefs, at least going into training camp. Obviously, he's going to have to earn that spot with the other guys that are behind him trying to fight for that. But all in all, you look at this Chiefs team, whether it be the special teams with their kickers and their punters, which are all pretty good. And then you look at their offense and defense, up and down, pretty solid. Offensively, I would say, has a few weaker spots than the defense, but nonetheless, they've done more with less before. And I think they're going to make a major push yet again this year.
It's funny is when I talk about the Chiefs and the fact that their defense, not to blow you off, to blow your doors off, stuff like that too. But what Spags has been able to do too with what they had was pretty amazing. And they had a second-ranked defense last year, but they had a lot of different players, like you said. This is going to be a little bit different. I think that right side of the line is going to be a little suspect. But like I said, Bolton, though, that's one of those guys that he's kind of like those unspoken players that, people like under the radar. He's just balling out when he's out there. And a lot of people don't just, know him or just don't give enough respect. Or it's kind of like, whatever, they see Chris Jones and that's all they know, I mean? So he's a big player, right there. And like you said, who knows, like you said, might be all of a sudden knocking on the door for a pay me option here. All right. In the meantime, we've got Mike Tackett is in the house with us tonight.
What's going on, Mike?
So he's got a question about the Kansas City Chiefs. He says, how many more years of dominance from KC will we see? Can the Mahomes era go down as the most dominant era when all is said and done?
It's possible, yes. But the thing is what they've already accomplished now, winning back-to-back championships, is unheard of. Like I don't think it's going to continue. Like, as good as their team is, as great as the coaching staff is, it is so tremendously difficult just to get back to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it 3 times in a row. With you have everybody else getting better around you, whether it be in the division or in the conference. We've already talked about it last year about how competitive this conference is. Are they going to be able to push through all that mess yet again and get it for a 3rd straight year? I think it's too difficult to do so. It's still possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but man, I can't see it happening for a 3rd straight year.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these 2 boxes.